Hello, you are the premiere of Samurai Cop 2, starring Mathew Karedas. Did I mention your name right?
Yes, that's right. Very good.
Such an honor to meet you.
Thank you so much.
So, you want to share with us a little intro of Samurai Cop for someone who doesn't know anything about, the movie?
About the first movie, yeah. The first movie was shot in 1990, and it was basically supposed to be a low-budget action movie like Lethal Weapon. And the director had his version of what he thought an American movie would be. He was Iranian. And we made the movie the best we could with the limited funds and so on. But there were just so many technical mistakes that were made during it, bad acting, even on my part. When we finished filming, I actually cut my hair. It was this long, cut it really short, and went on to do different photos. And then he called me back, the director, and said, "We have some more to film." And I said, "I cut my hair." So he went out and grabbed a wig and had me wear them. So it just became one of those films that is just so bad that you love it. And it found an audience around mid-90s and 2000s, and then it just became a worldwide cult hit because it was just so bad it's good. And then we ended up, a year ago, they approached me to do a sequel 25 years later, so that's where we are today.
But the long hair really suits you though.
Oh yeah, I'm still stuck in the 80s, everybody said. You haven't changed much and you still have the hair, but yeah, I just figured I'll enjoy it as long as possible before it falls out. I'm 51 years old now, so eventually it's going to have to disappear.
Well, you are aging gracefully.
Thank you. That's my mom and dad's fault.
Thank you. But you want to share with us, what is it about you in the character that is more real? Like when you are on the scene, what is it about you that people can relate to other than playing a role?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is the way that I look, obviously. I think what's funny is that the original movie, there was no character. It was just me doing whatever. The director said, just do whatever you want. So it was basically me doing horrible acting. And whatever my mannerisms were and things that I did, and I would make crazy eyes and so on and growl, that's what we brought to this character. But I think people just love that either they know me and they know that I completely am in on the joke. I know I'm not Leonardo DiCaprio, great actor, and I'm just having fun with it, and I think that's kind of what they relate to. And then I think that Stallone look-alike, people have said, oh, you remind me of Stallone when he did action movies. So maybe that, because they're used to seeing him, but in the version of an action film, it was just me trying to just, be believable and fun.
But it seems the movie industry they're becoming more experimental. Like how you said, you try certain acting scenes or just some approaches that didn't work out for you, but it seems to help you grow as an individual. So how did that affect you?
Yeah, it's always hard, especially me. I'm 6'3", and in Hollywood, most actors are very short. And my leading lady who's here tonight, Melissa, she's about 5'11" too. So it's very hard to even get an opportunity to do good work in Hollywood if you're working, even as an extra or a smaller part. Because if you're working with Tom Cruise or Matt Damon, who are very small, they don't want you in the scene with them. So it's tough. So to be given this opportunity to actually be the star of a film and to do what you can do, yeah, it's just I'm very fortunate and lucky to be able to do it.
So at the moment, you had premieres back in Los Angeles.
Yes.
And now in LA. I mean, it's been done years past. So are you planning to have in other countries as well? I mean, I know the movie is worldwide. So where else do you have that fans can catch up to you and also keep up with your movies?
Yeah, we're going to continue to rolling out. We did a week run in LA, and then obviously we're here in New York, but we've been up in Portland, Seattle, down in Austin, Texas, Virginia. I'll be heading over to the Cutricon Festival in Madrid, Spain, invited me over, which is January, which to me is hilarious for me to travel the world because of this movie. But in end of January, I'll be over there, and then I know we're heading to the United Kingdom, to London, for a premiere there. There's just so many pockets of fans around the world that, we can't go everywhere, but obviously I'm enjoying it, and it's just going to be like a slow rollout. But once it hits Blu-ray and digital download, Hulu, Netflix in like January, I think, then the broader audience will be able to see it and enjoy it.
It's so great that you are personally involved in the movie. Not only are you making appearances where your fans can actually see you, but it's also, it's kind of feedback. Everybody's feeding off of each other. They're supporting you, you're supporting the fans. So how does that feel, getting to travel from one country to the next or one state to the other and then getting to know people and then premiering these movies?
That's what's fun for me. I know the fans were wanting to see a sequel just because they're excited to see it, but what I enjoy and a lot of my fellow castmates is their response to what they see. That's what we look forward to, is did they have fun with it, and did we hit, you know, the mark that they were looking for? But yeah, for me, it's just, like I said, been fun to be able to travel around and meet people. That's what's the funnest for me, is just to meet fans and just go, oh, I've watched this movie since I was a kid. And because everybody thought I was dead. As you know, there was another actor who had the same name as mine that had passed away, and everyone thought it was me. And it was only until last year when my daughter had posted on YouTube a video of me that they all just went, oh my God, he's alive. And that's kind of what really got the ball rolling as far as, let's do this, this will be fun to have a sequel.
Yes. So anything interesting you would let your fans know about you?
Just that I
It could be just one word about you that's so interesting they need to know, other than the characters you play in the movie.
I would just say that I'm in on the joke as far as this movie. I have no dispersions that I'm a fantastic actor. I get it, and I think we're all having fun with this, just letting it play out and let everybody enjoy, you know, the movie as it is.
Yeah. So what is about this this Cop 2 version that's better than the first one? Obviously, the next version is always an improvement. But what one special thing can you say about this new update?
This, I was just shocked, as was the director, because we couldn't really copy the first movie because it was just, otherwise people would say, oh, you're just trying to be aware. And accidentally, unintentionally, we did it again, but in a different way and better. So people are just like, I never thought we were going to see what we saw, but it actually stands alone by itself as a great movie. So that's a compliment to the director, and I'm glad to be a part of that.
Great. Such an honor to interview you.
Thank you so much.
Mathew Karedas, if I'm correct.
Yes, Karedas.
Such an honor to have you. So we are currently at the Sunshine Cinema going to watch Samurai Cop 2, Deadly Vengeance. Okay, guys, do not miss it. Catch up to us. Okay, thank you. I'm Siakie, and I'm your host for tonight.
To it, and we decided to make a sequel. And at the time, we thought Matt was dead, so we got in touch with Frank, with Mark Frazier, Frank Washington. The movie was basically going to be Joe's daughter trying to hunt down who killed the samurai cop. And then, you know, so we got a little far along. The movie was a really dark kind of action movie, and then we found out Matt was alive, and that changed everything. And then we decided, why need a script? Let's just have some fun and shoot. But yeah, no, originally the movie was much darker, more artsy, and not as much humor, and a lot of the humor just really came through in the performances, and a lot of that wasn't even really written. It was just everybody. It was just so awesome. So.
Yeah, and that's what I was telling somebody earlier, how the casting, how Amir did in the first movie. It's so crazy how he cast all of us in the first movie, and Amir had an eye for that, and Greg in this, everybody he brought in, from Caden and Bailing, and he also, and I don't know if Greg intentionally had done this, but you do see the different levels of performances, just like in the first movie. So you have people that were Kickstarters, contributors that paid to actually be in the movie, so you can tell who they are. Not saying I was any better as an actor than they were, but so, you know what I mean? So it was just an all-around fun, and what I've said in a lot of interviews is that we just unintentionally captured, again, something here that is just way out there, and that's why we love hearing from you guys, if you did see the first, or if you haven't, what your responses are to it, because that's, like I said, we were making it every day going, I don't know what we're doing, I don't know what's going to happen. Because there's so many things that come up on these, and it happens on big budget movies too. You don't have enough time, you don't have enough money, we're always fighting with the suits as far as we need to do this, it's very important, you know, but this is it, and like I said, we're just enjoying rolling it out across the nation, and pretty soon it'll be on Blu-ray and everywhere else where everybody can just watch this over and over and try to figure out what the hell is going on.
Yeah, and I mean, one more thing about it, like when we were shooting, we really were having so much fun that we, Greg, myself, and Tony, one of the other writers, just kept adding scenes, and we kept finding new actors we wanted to be in the movie, so we just, every day we came up with new challenges for everybody to kind of do, and threw people to the wolves.
Yeah,
but it was so much fun.
Even with Melissa, because her scene that she did with me, you could tell them how the dialogue, there's a lot of Japanese words that were very tricky, so.
I can't say them, I still can't say them. I did several takes and I can't say them, and neither could many of the people.
Shinjuku and Ginza.
Katana.
Katana, I could say that.
Yeah, it was either katana or katana, and I spoke fluent Japanese for you all this time. Thank you very much.
A lot of the budget went to him learning Japanese. Right?
And I think the story which Greg has told about the other guy that you see in there just going, ooh, chee, chee, cha, cha. What Greg told him was, they actually, he said, I really want to do this part and I want to speak fluent Japanese. And Greg's like, all right. So when they really tried to teach him, he's like, there's no way I'm going to learn this. So Greg said, okay, just do whatever you want. Later I'll dub in some Japanese words. So he didn't realize we were going to keep that we kept. So, because he thought they'd put something that sounded a little bit more Japanese. So the poor guy at the screening is going, what the fuck is that? I look like an idiot. But it's great, it plays well. And those are the little things that happen when you do filming making like this. So.
Yeah, we didn't want to tell him that that's what we were going to do. It was so good that we used it.
So who wants to be brave and ask the first question? You don't have to. You can all go home.
We have one right down here.
Oh, here you are.
I just want to say this movie was amazing.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, just like the Kill Bill movies.
That's a great compliment for our director, yes, and our writer. I just showed up as Melissa and I, but it is a lot of the brilliance is behind, and I've said this a lot about our director Gregory Hatanaka. Very dedicated, was an original true fan of the first Samurai. He has his own distribution company and he's directed other films, but really the passion that he took to make this movie from the point where I came alive on YouTube and to write script drafts with Rich and then to just get it done. There's so many obstacles, there's never enough money. He never gave up, and to have this thing in theaters, in the LA premiere back in October and now is just, it's a tribute to him because a lot of films never get made, they never get greenlit. So again, it was all of us wanting to do this for the fans, so I hope everybody's going to enjoy it as it rolls out. Thank you.
Thank you. I wish you had the first one because this is my first time seeing this sequel because I think the first one is a little better than part two.
Yeah, everyone has dips. Some people say they're different or they're not even comparable. So I don't know. Some people say, hey, this was a lot better than the first. And I go, is that a compliment? Because the first wasn't. But yeah, everyone, like I said, sometimes we've had fans in LA that never saw the first, they just saw the second. So, but I'm glad everybody, it's out there. It's a rent. I don't like people seeing it, but I guess you could watch.
And one thing that we are doing is in certain theaters we are trying to do double features or play both films and when people can do it. So there's a...
First of all, I was glad. Thank you guys. And,
Thank you.
I was one of the scenes when you were watching television. And, who curated those?
Again, that's just me as an actor following the directors, telling me, okay, I need you to watch, and then you're going to kind of know it's you or not know you. But it's all Greg. Greg and Rich coming up with different ideas. Like I said, 4 days into shooting, wasn't it? There were some problems going on either with cast availability or... So the story just kept going this way, and then they said, okay, wait, no, let's go, all right, now let's, and so when you edit it, you're trying to make it all make sense, and that's what we see up here.
Those were things that you guys shot.
Oh, are you talking about the commercials?
Sorry.
Yeah, I forget where we found those. A lot of those there's some are from like some British TV show, and some are just these old Japanese commercials that we just stumbled across and got the rights to use them. And we just thought they were funny.
I think
there's no reason to use them. We just thought they were funny.
Yeah, Greg threw them in. Some of those, that Yik Lung is a commercial Greg grew up with, that he remembers it, so he loved that jingle. And but the Hawaiian, the guy in taking his pants, that's like old Hawaiian commercials. Greg has said a lot of our Q&As and a lot of this is Greg. Like I said, this is from Greg's.
Yeah, he's a nut.
He's a connoisseur of filmmaking. Believe me, there's a lot of tips of the hat from Cassavetes. Certain lines that he gave Tommy to say were from famous movies that I don't know about. But those of you out there that are just going to be dedicated fans will figure that out later once you watch it over and over again.
So what was the sort of process of getting all the cast back together, and what was it like eventually sort of being on set and working with everybody together?
So we had Matt beg a lot of people to come back?
How did you get it? Who called you?
Matt begged me. He called me and said our past has caught up with us, and it had 25 years later. And I was actually glad to do it. It was fun. It was kind of fun to see Matt, and I had never seen the original one when I came and shot the sequel. So then I thought I'd better watch it. No, why?
Why?
This one is way better. I thought this was hysterical. This was the first time I've seen this, and it was hysterical. So good job, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we had a wish list of a lot of actors that we wanted to use. We obviously wanted to bring back as many people as we could for the first one, and we pretty much did get everybody I think we could. I mean, there was maybe one or two holdouts we couldn't get. Zadar was on board, but his health, obviously, he couldn't do it. And then, we had known Bai Ling for a long time. We were talking to Harmel Novak. We're a fan of him from Game of Death. So we picked a lot of people from cult movies that we really liked. And then as word got out that we're making this movie, more and more people were coming to us and saying, we really want to be a part of it. Can you find a place for us? So a lot of it, like I was saying, how we're rewriting on the spot was, oh my God, this person wants to be in the movie, let's get them, let's write a part for them. So.
Yeah. The one that we couldn't get, we finally tracked down Janice, who played my girlfriend in the first movie. And she's since moved on, married, has kids, and she just wanted no part of this at all. I go, come on, and that's what I wish she could have came, because that's the confusion with Caden's character, because sometimes she's playing the flashback Jennifer, and then she's playing Melina with the dark hair, and then she's playing, so it got very confusing, but I've been in touch with her, and I respect, like she said, she just didn't want to revisit, and I don't know if it's because of the nudity from the first, I don't know, but she did a great job acting, and the movie is what it is, we all get that, so I wouldn't, I don't know why she would have that, but everybody, like I said, I think we were glad to get the crew that we did get together.
Yeah, and we documented pretty much everything we did with the filming and development of this movie, except what I would have loved to have had is when we were actually pitching Matt on the movie, when we first met you, and we took you to lunch, and we were trying to convince you to come on board, and I remember your reaction was, why the hell would I want to make Samurai Cop 2? So it took a little bit of a convincing.
Who wants to see this movie? I had no idea that it was that big of a hit, because I hadn't been paying attention. I was dead.
Well, that's it.
Exactly.
He was dead.
And if you don't know that, that was another actor that had my same birth name. My birth name's Matt Hannon, and I changed it in '94 just for whatever reason as an actor. But that some guy died named Matt Hannon, and everybody thought that was me. And so when I came back alive on YouTube, last year, they were all like, "What? That's him? What is?" So yeah, when they called me and said, "Greg," that's how Greg found me. He saw the YouTube posting and said, I got to meet with you and have lunch, and I went down and met with him, and then, I was just like, who wants to see a sequel to Samurai? But here, you guys are here. You're the ones that want to see it.
And thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else? Yeah.
What I'm fascinated by is that we're seeing a resurgence of these 80s, 90s video store action B movies. And, we had Kung Fury that came out this year, and some of Kill Bill. And do you think that this genre of these type of movies are going to almost become kind of, soon there's going to be a big boom in that kind of type of action movie?
I kind of think so, and I think because it's people like me that grew up watching those movies and living in a video store are now making movies. So we're making movies that are what we loved seeing, I love going to midnight movies. I grew up and going to this theater, so being able to play here is amazing. So yeah, I think a lot of people like from our generation now are actually able to actually make a movie, and you can make movies cheaper than you could a long time ago. So I think, I think we're going to see a lot more of these cult movies, and hopefully they're all a lot of fun. Because that's the whole point of movies like this, is that it's fun. You come, you go to the theater with your friends, you yell at the screen, and you have a good time. So
I've seen every cult movie since the 70s and 80s, all the martial art movies.
Right on.
They were my favorites back in the day.
Same here.
What was it like working with Tommy Wiseau?
Awesome.
Yeah, no, Tommy was awesome, and we were terrified of how it was going to be to work with Tommy on set, but he came in super professional and did everything we told him to do. But no, Tommy was great, and he's been great touring it with the film with us too. I don't know if, Matt, you want to talk about.
Oh yeah, when we first had met with him, I had no idea who Tommy was, and when Greg said, I need you to meet this guy, we really want to try to get him in the movie, and then when we met for dinner, he was like 3 hours late, and I was just like, who the fuck is this guy, where is he? And then when he showed up, he just was like, I want to be in the movie, but Samurai Cop must die. I must kill him. And then we're like, no problem.
Yeah, we did agree to that, actually.
and then at the end, he said, I cannot die. So I don't know if he died or not in this one, but great guy. Like I said, very entertaining. We all shot, we had 2 documentary crews on set that filmed the making of this, which I don't know when that's going to come out, but like I've said before, it's like 160 plus hours of footage. And we taped every single second we could with any time Tommy was around, because he was just so brilliant in what he does. So, but he's an awesome guy. And he had never seen the movie till the LA screening, and we were a little concerned because, I didn't know how he would take it, but I think he did a great job. Part of the conditions were, he said, I want a costume, I want to, have this look, and we were just like, no problem. We had our costumer make him a design, the glasses, everything, the whole thing, and that's what Tommy wanted, so that's what he got. So.
Yeah, no, he was incredible to work with. A genius, actually, really.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know, they're making a movie at Warner Brothers. Seth Rogen and James Franco are making a movie about The Room. The guy that was his co-star, Greg Ciceros, I guess is his name, did a book, and now they're optioning it. So the rest of the world will find out who Tommy Wiseau is, besides just the eclectic cult fans.
Yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with first movie that gets covered up with oil. It's like burning oil. And like no one ever talks about her at all.
Who was that pretty
Talks
girl?
about her, what her fate was.
Where's your scar?
That was me.
Yeah, that was Melissa. That's why she was helicopter girl, scar girl. Yeah, that was what happened that day. Was I there?
I don't remember.
You can't. How come I remember all this traumatic experience from 25 years ago? You know, Melissa and I knew each other from before. So when I called her, I don't know if that was a blessing or when I said, "Hey, I'm doing this movie called Samurai Cop. You want to be in it?" She's probably like, "Thanks a lot." But we had a lot of fun. Like I said, we were both young actors. You're all trying to just get footage and tape. And when Amir had said, "Hey, you're the star of my movie," I was just like, "Oh my God, this is going to be great. I can have great footage and try to get more acting from this." And little did we know it would never come out and it become what it became. But God bless Amir. He really was a great filmmaker, and people laugh, but he really had a passion of making movies, and his budgets were always very low, but he really made a shitload of money selling them overseas. So I guess the joke is always on. And I asked his son, because I had dinner with him and Greg, the director of this film, a while back, and I said, "What would your dad think of this? You know, would he be offended that we're all laughing?" He goes, "He would love it. He would totally love the fact that, you know, this has become what it became." But he was a serious filmmaker, and the movie just became what it became with me and the wig and everything else about it. But I think Greg's doing a whole series of all of Amir's movies that
He's
came
doing
out.
4K transfers on all of Amir's movies.
Yeah, ours was the lowest budget, I believe. I think the original Samurai Cop was shot for 30 grand, and Amir's whole thing was just feed the crew 3 meals and pay for the film, and that was it. And the rest is just his ability to just steal shots all over LA with no permits, no nothing. What'd you guys do? You guys shot that in a helicopter? So that was the entire budget of Samurai Cop. It was you.
The helicopter.
Did you go in the air, or you went up flying? Oh, I thought that was stock footage. See, I'm learning things too, people. No, that's awesome. It looked like it was a hot day. Well, you were sweating. Were you inside the? Did you land and do all your shots?
No, yes. Yeah, we took off and we do flybys, and then of course we would come back down to actually do the footage. But he would, you know, shoot us going up, and then I would look at you down there.
Yeah, I'm talking to her. I'll see you later. Like she can hear me. Amir didn't catch that. He goes, "Just talk to her, tell her hello, and you'll tell her keep it warm." All right. So we had fun.
Thanks for including the lion.
Oh, the lion head.
Was that too much? We actually put it in a lot because we didn't know if anybody would ever catch them.
Is it the original one?
No. We actually had some guys contacted us who actually made that for us, and I forget what that one cost, but they were going to make one that was the real size, and it was like 10 grand, and we're just like,
Yeah.
we have 500, and they're like, all right, well, we'll make you this size.
Yeah.
You know?
It
Something
was a
like that.
keychain size.
Yeah, but no, some guys out of Seattle actually, they were fans of the movie that just made it for us. So.
Yeah.
And we try to use it as much as possible. Anything else? Yeah.
Will there ever be a Samurai Cop 3?
It depends on how many people come tomorrow night to see this again. So I don't know. We would love to do it. You know, we have a lot of really great ideas and everything like that. But you know, we got to see. If the fans want it, we'll do it. You know.
Yeah. Sometimes you just don't want to be doing Expendables 4, Expendables 5. So I don't know. I mean, we did this, like we said, most of us for the fans. So I don't know if you could do a 3. What else are you gonna do? Where else can you go? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Greg and I have worked on this one for probably about almost 3 years now. So now that it's finally here, we're definitely anxious to get back in there. But again, we want to see that. We only want to do it if people want it. You know. So we'll see how this one goes. So far, reaction's been awesome, though. So thank you. All right, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for coming out. Have a great night.
Well, it was an awesome evening. You guys need to come out and see it. It was my first time seeing the completed film, and what a blast. I mean, so hysterical. What a great job you did, Matt, and what a great job writing.
Well, thank you.
It was great to be a part of it.
So I think this is our 5th city, maybe 6th city we've played this at so far since we launched a couple weeks ago, and it's been so awesome. And this was like the perfect midnight movie in a perfect New York City theater, and I really hope everybody enjoyed it and had a good time. And you know, coming out on DVD and Blu-ray in January, so hopefully everybody buys it and comes again to see it. We'll be playing this movie nonstop throughout the next few months.
Yep, as we have said, that it was just a pleasure to come all the way out here. I came all the way from LA. Every town we go to, there's just so many fans that love the first one. And it's just fun to see their reaction to a sequel of a movie that they liked, and to walk away hopefully happy and fulfilled.